Whether in the clamor of modern cities or the silence of ancient wilderness, whenever we look up at the night sky, that gentle silver disk always arrives as promised. Yet the most famous and mind-boggling riddle in astronomy coldly tells us that in the long history of mankind, no one has ever seen the far side of the moon from Earth. Over the past 4.5 billion years, it has been like a silent dancer under an eternal spell, always facing us unreservedly with its most beautiful and brightest side, while completely hiding its back, which conceals countless secrets. In the freezing darkness of deep space, this absolute synchronization, near miraculous, is known in rigorous astronomical terms as tidal locking, a deep and ultimate interstellar understanding achieved only across billions of years, the secret of lunar phases, the gentle silver disk that has accompanied Earth for 4.5 billion years. Today, it is no longer a string of cold physical orbital data, but a cosmic love letter woven from the fabric of endless time. Tonight, let us accompany the gently flickering firelight and this story you need not effortfully memorize, to walk together into its true lifetime. In this gaze and companionship spanning billions of years, all immediate gains, losses, and anxieties will dissolve like passing smoke under the vast cosmic scale, leaving behind only ultimate peace, tenderness, and affection. The starting point of the story traces back to the primeval era when the young Earth was still enveloped in magma and the entire solar system was filled with violence and chaos. It was a day about 4.5 billion years ago when an ancient celestial body as massive as Mars, due to crossing orbits, violently slammed into the newborn Earth with an irreversible posture of destiny. In that cataclysmic collision, the flesh and blood of the two planets were violently torn and fused in the void, and countless scorching fragments were forcefully hurled into a vast near-Earth orbit. These fragments did not scatter and escape into the freezing space. Instead, under the hands of gravity, that gentle yet strict weaver, they slowly condensed over tens of thousands of years into a brand new silver life, newly born. She was incredibly close to Earth, so close that it felt as if one could touch the rolling ocean of lava on the surface with an outstretched hand. Her rotation at that time was also blindingly fast, spinning frantically in the night sky of the early Earth, continuously showing her every corner to that scarred maternal body. However, the distance between the two celestial bodies was too close, and the immense gravitational force between them began to whip up an invisible, colossal tide inside each other's bodies. Earth's gravity acted like a pair of invisible, heavy hands, firmly gripping her protruding rocky body and creating unimaginable, solid tides within her. Every rotation generated immense friction, setting a restrained and brutal brake on her spin. Every century, her rotation slowed down by just a tiny fraction. This silent pulling, lasting hundreds of millions of years, was the gentlest taming in the universe, and the heavy price paid by the two planets in an era of chaos to adapt to each other's presence. Her physical form and equilibrium reached a perfect balance under the compression of gravity until that day, when her rotational period finally achieved a stunning and absolute synchronization with her orbital period around Earth. At that wondrous instant when rotation and revolution completely overlapped, the frantically spinning silver disk suddenly slowed down in the cosmos, freezing into an eternally elegant posture. She finally halted her restless steps, settling her body completely onto this guarding orbit. From then on, she never showed her far side to Earth again, using only her purest, brightest face to begin a long gaze spanning billions of years. As the spell of tidal locking completely solidified, the moon began to weave another visual magic passed down for millennia across the canvas of eternal night. This is what we familiarly know as the lunar phases. Many people, during sleepless nights, watch her transform from a slender crescent into a plump full moon, and then into a waning crescent, always assuming that she is continuously changing her own shape. Yet in this absolutely quiet space devoid of words, the truth of science reveals another restrained and romantic geometric beauty. It is merely a slow-motion waltz performed by the sun, Earth, and moon within the freezing vacuum. The moon itself is a cold, rough rocky planet, incapable of emitting even a single shred of light on its own. All the silvery glow on her body is merely borrowed from the generous gift of the scorching sun far away. And no matter her position in orbit, from the vast cosmic perspective, half of her body is always completely illuminated by sunlight, while the other half is perpetually immersed in cold backlit shadow, and the waxing and waning we see from the surface is, in essence, merely because we stand on Earth. This unique vantage point, observing different proportions of her illuminated half on different days of the month. This is an exceptionally rigorous physical geometric movement without a single shred of deviation. When she moves between Earth and the sun, her illuminated side faces completely away from Earth, bringing a blank new moon to our night sky. plunging the entire surface into pure darkness and tranquility. As she moves slowly along her orbit at thousands of kilometers per hour, that edge kissed by sunlight quietly emerges on the horizon like a slender silver fingernail, gently piercing the loneliness of the night. During this prolonged movement, the surface gravity and the upper atmosphere fall into a highly regular, almost hypnotic, subtle rise and fall. The ocean waves begin their rhythmic tides, and the bodies of surface creatures adjust their vital frequencies in accordance with this geometric transformation. With her own imperfection and perfection, she tirelessly repeats this silent cycle of 29.5 days in the freezing space, deconstructing physical motion into the most reassuring and comforting heartbeat of the night. To fully unveil the hazy veil clothing this gentle silver disk, humanity has poured all its wisdom, passion, and immense untold prices over the past thousands of years of history. In the summer of 1969, the Apollo 11 spacecraft glided through the unshielded vacuum. 3 young astronauts, carrying the bated breath of the entire planet, finally crossed 380,000 kilometers of void to step onto this ancient gray land for the first time. When astronaut Neil Armstrong pressed his footprint deeply into the dust as fine as powder on the lunar surface, the entire world on Earth erupted into an unprecedented frenzy and awe. Yet, behind all the clamor and historic moments, the true lunar surface displayed an ultimate restraint, deathly stillness, and loneliness that could make anyone shudder. There is not a single shred of atmospheric protection here, no sound of wind, no trace of falling rain. Time here seems to have lost its terrestrial fluidity. A single footprint can remain perfectly intact for hundreds of thousands of years without the slightest change. Through the returned rock samples, astronomers discovered with shock that the moon's surface is densely covered with thousands of impact craters, large and small. It was her using her vulnerable body, undefended by an atmosphere, to intercept countless fatal meteoric storms for the Earth behind her over billions of years. In the eyes of people on Earth, these mottled craters unexpectedly combined into an exquisitely beautiful mythical pattern resembling a laurel tree and a jade rabbit. Undoubtedly the grandest and gentlest misunderstanding left by the cosmos to earthly creatures. Every scar on her body kicked up monumental dust a million years ago or even deeper in antiquity, yet ultimately settled in the silent vacuum into a refined, introverted silver texture full of embrace. Those who sit at their desks, tossing and turning with anxiety over the trivialities of the day, if they could understand the countless wounds this body has endured through the eons, might feel a sense of security completely healed in the face of such monumental endurance. With her own countless scars, she has held up a gentle gravitational umbrella for 4.5 billion years, one that will never close, protecting the water-blue planet behind her in this cold and dangerous solar system. The most reassuring and soothing aspect of the secret of lunar phases lies in its absolute fairness belonging to the night, one that has never changed over billions of years. Today, no matter how unimaginably high human technology has advanced, no matter how eras on the surface shift or how warfares and neons change, whenever deep night arrives, the sliver of moonlight cast through your window frame shares the exact same physical attributes as the light seen by the first marine creatures crawling onto land 400 million years ago. At this very moment, in this room so quiet that only breathing can be heard, and in every corner of this building, countless wisps of cool, low-saturation moonlight are piercing the gaps in the curtains, casting soft, dim silhouettes upon the marble floor or the solid wood bedposts. These beams traveled through the void for about 1 second, bearing no warmth because of the rise of any civilization, nor losing their silvery clarity due to the departure of any life. They caressed towering glaciers and illuminated deep deserts, ultimately choosing to shed all the heat and clamor brought by the sun, transforming into a near purely rational, cool comfort to quietly envelope you and this weary world together. In the face of such a grand, robust, and eternal celestial dance, all the gains and losses we cling to during the day, the anxieties, regrets, and pains that make us toss and turn, appear utterly insignificant, like a drop in the ocean, fleeting in an instant. It is like a refined elder who has weathered countless vicissitudes and seen through the disillusionment of spacetime, whispering tenderly in your ear during every sleepless night at a near-static frequency of 29.5 days, "It's all right, everything is fine, everything will pass." Through 4.5 billion years of lonely gazing, it perfectly demonstrates that companionship is the most ultimate and enduring ancient confession of love in this spacetime. With the irreversible process of cosmic evolution, our moon continues to leave Earth's orbit at an exceedingly slow and restrained rate of about 3.8 centimeters per year. In the billions of years to come, she will drift further and further away, And the cycle of lunar phases will be stretched longer and longer, until one distant day when even the deepest tides will no longer be able to stir ripples on the surface, yet at least at this very moment, in the brief golden age when human civilization can look up at the starry sky, she still flickers persistently, still using her last remaining trace of clear light to guard the night sky of the surface from being swallowed by a merciless absolute nothingness, the secret of lunar phases. The gentle silver disk that has accompanied Earth for 4.5 billion years. She answers all ultimate riddles regarding the synchronization of the night mentioned in the prologue. She proves that we have never been orphans accidentally appearing in the lonely night, but beautiful notes destined to emerge in this tens of billions of years-long gravitational symphony. The world has completely quieted down. The moonlight outside the window, together with the tide within your body, is weaving a most secure and reassuring dim light and shadow in your room. There is no need to ponder where the end of the orbit lies, nor to worry about when tomorrow's sun will rise. You only need to attune to the oldest, most regular, slow heartbeat of this universe, completely relaxing your breath. The story has gently touched down. That celestial lullaby that has drifted for 4.5 billion years is softly echoing in your mind. Please close your eyes, and peacefully sink into this deepest, most tranquil dreamland woven for you by that gentle silver disk.